I know.
What's that? Yeah, we're going to wait a moment because Tyrod Taylor is going to join us in here up at the podium. For those of you who may not have been here when we had the Stanford press conferences a little bit earlier this morning, I want to make sure that everybody knows that both the Stanford and Virginia Tech practices are closed today. Both teams will have media availability on January 1st. Virginia Tech's hospital visit scheduled this afternoon at 1:30 at Joe DiMaggio's Children's Hospital. If you have plans to go there and you need directions, in the media credential pickup room is where you get all the directions to all the different events that are going on. There's a photo opportunity during the first 15 minutes of Stanford's beach party this afternoon at the Fontainebleau beachfront, and Virginia Tech's team dinner at Fogo de Chao. So you'll be able to get that at the very, very beginning. Rebecca.
I did understand that.
Who did you get that from? Virginia Tech said that practice is open today for the first 2 periods?
Yeah, and then Frank's going to talk.
Okay. Oh, do you know that, Coach?
That's what I understood, but I'm strictly on a need-to-know basis.
We will confirm that and let you know before. All right. We also like to acknowledge the Orange Bowl committee members who join us at these press conferences. Tim Bailey is over here. C.L. Conroy is in the back of the room with Vicki Matthews. So thank you all for joining us here for the press conference. Now, we will get started with, we have Coach Stinespring up here from Virginia Tech. And we also have Tyrod Taylor. There will be players available in the media room behind us. We will let you know when that media room is open for the players' interviews. So we will get started with Coach Stinespring. Coach, you've been here for a few years now. Is the preparation any different and the schedule any different for this year than past years when you've been to the Discover Orange Bowl?
No, not really. We're just excited about being here and looking forward to a great football game. And no, our schedule, we're pretty much accustomed to how we want to do things down here in Miami and enjoy this great bowl and make a great preparation against a terrific football team in Stanford.
And then one question for Tyrod. Tyrod, what is the experience in Miami like? What do you like about coming to Miami for a bowl game?
Just a nice weather. I don't get out too much. I like to stay focused, but the weather is a big thing, considering that it's 15 degrees and snow in Blacksburg.
All right. We will open it up to questions right in the middle on the right.
Bryan, the Stanford defensive players, I guess, refer to their new defensive coordinator as an evil genius, and one of them said that they'll be playing a game and a team. A lot of times teams do things they haven't seen on film, and they in the past they hadn't had an adjustment, but now it's like Fangio is sitting in the box next to the opposing offensive coordinator, always putting them in the right play. When you look at them on film, do you notice as the game goes along that he's particularly good at making adjustments and sort of figuring out on the fly what the other team is doing and counterpunching?
I think obviously Stanford has done a terrific job on defense. You don't make the improvement that they have from one year to the next defensively unless something's going on there. In terms of coaching and playing, and to go from the bottom tier in total defense to the top in their conference, and to be 11th in the country in scoring defense, that just doesn't happen by accident. And I think it goes back to their defensive personnel and obviously their defensive coaches. And I think from the get-go, when you walk onto the field, I think they are well prepared from the beginning of the game. You look at Oregon, I think in the beginning of the game, especially in the first half of the game, I thought they were very much dialed into how they wanted to defend Oregon. And obviously they're pretty good. And so I think not just as the game goes on, his ability to adjust and try to take away what you do well, but I think from the beginning, I think he says their defense is predicated on trying to determine what you do, what you're going to, the foundation of what has gotten you into this position, and try to take it away from you. And they're going to try to get you into Plan B and Plan C as much as anything else. And I think they do a terrific job of that.
Hey, Rebecca, when somebody from the staff comes in here, can you have them get Tyrod a bottle of water, please? And we're going to go on the inside aisle.
Bryan, regardless of what happens in this game, Tyrod obviously has been a huge difference maker for your offense as long as he's been in the program. When it's all said and done, what do you think his legacy is going to be, and what has he meant to your offense and your program, both as a leader and as a player?
A great question. Because when it's all said and done, I don't think it'll ever be done. I think his legacy is that we'll always be talking about Tyrod Taylor. And I think that's probably the best compliment I can give somebody, that his time and his eligibility may be over at Virginia Tech, and this is going to be the last game that he plays in a Virginia Tech uniform. But long after this game that we play against Stanford, we'll still be talking about Tyrod Taylor. As fans, as coaches, as people who have followed Virginia Tech, I can't put in a statement here today what Tyrod Taylor means to us now, what he has meant to us in his whole time here. You get a chance to see Tyrod on the field, but I can't. That's one part of what he means to this program and what he has meant to this program. But what he does in the locker room, what he does in the weight room, what he does in the hallway when nobody else is watching, I can't put into words what that means. And that's a special compliment to have to somebody, because it's easy when the lights are on and the cameras are on and people here is witnessing what you do day in and day out. It's easy to portray yourself one way. But when nobody's watching and nobody's around, when the lights are on, what do you do then? And how do you handle yourself then? I think says a lot. I think he's for our younger players, they see the way he approaches the game. I think they see the way he approaches his season, the way he conducts himself on and off the field. I think Logan Thomas will tell you what Tyrod means to him and has meant to him. But what Tyrod said just a few moments ago, what do you think about Miami? I like the weather. I don't go out much. I don't think he's a guy that's been real big on doing a lot of talking or those type of things. I think he lets you see who he is for 60 minutes on Saturdays, and I think that's all the talking he likes to do. That's a wonderful change of events, I think.
Tyrod, as a follow-up to that, when it's all said and done, what do you want your legacy to be at Virginia Tech?
First off, I'd like to say thank you to Coach. But just to be remembered as a great person, one of the better persons that came through the program, and of course on the field, one of the best quarterbacks that walked through Virginia Tech.
Rebecca, if we can go in the second row here to the right.
Tyrod, how much do you think you still need to prove stuff to NFL scouts that you can play quarterback at the next level? And how do you think this game will serve as almost like a spotlight for that? How much are you thinking about that?
I know it's a lot of attention on it. I think I have something to prove every time I step on the field, but I'm not selfish. It's not just about me when I'm out there on the football field. It's about the other 10 guys that's going to be with me. And this is a team sport, so I have to go out there and prepare myself to win like I would do every game. Put the team first and do what I have to do to win. And hopefully NFL scouts will see that.
Have you done with, I know you have like an ESPN crew following you now, and just with the draft coming up, how do you keep those is there anything in particular you do to keep those distractions away so you can just focus on the bowl game?
No, I just be myself. I haven't seen them since we left Blacksburg as far as the ESPN crew, but I just be myself. Don't change. Be the same person throughout the whole situation. Whether it's good or bad, you still have to show character and poise throughout everything.
May I interject for a second? I was asked a question, you guys will remember, back in Blacksburg, to make a statement for Tyrod to the NFL and why he should get a chance to play in the NFL. And really, if I thought a little quicker, the answer would be quite simple, and I think he's done it. I think he's made a statement about 13 weeks this year. And the weeks before and the year before. I think he makes a statement every time he steps on the field on why he has a chance to continue playing. And it's not just his ability and his talent. He wins football games. In the end, that's how we're all judged. The ability to have success on that field. There's a lot of people wanting to have success on that field and just can't get over the hump. He gives you a chance to win every time he steps on the field. That's the bottom line.
We're on the front row to your right.
Bryan, I have a question for you. Tom Fitzgerald, San Francisco Chronicle. Read that you folks had given Tyrod more license to call plays as audibles after the first two losses. What was the thinking behind doing that? How has that worked out? And how often does he change the plays?
Well, I think anytime you get, as experience grows within the game and a comfort level within the game and from season to season grows, you use that experience. You don't say, well, this guy's got experience, great, pat him on the back. You want to use that experience as a vehicle for success for you. And I think as Tyrod has garnered that success, we got to go back and realize that he wasn't afforded the opportunity to redshirt. He split some time in a dual quarterback system as a sophomore. So, I think as that experience level is grown, obviously he is a guy that wants to push the envelope a great deal. He's constantly learning, constantly working to improve himself, and he constantly wants to do things on the field that makes him a better player, makes obviously us a better football team. So it's something that he's always wanted to do. How successful it has been, we're 11-2 and we're in the Orange Bowl. And I think as a play caller, to be able to give your quarterback the opportunity to get you in a better play or to take advantage of what he sees on the field, I think that's a great asset. So we're going to do that quite a bit. Now, it goes from game to game, but I think it's something that not only going from run to run or run to pass, but also within that pass to be able to allow him to change routes and based upon what he sees. And I think that's just a tremendous advantage because, when you have if you're calling certain routes and the coverage, the defense gets a pin last. We eventually got to snap the ball. They can line up, they can delay lining up, they can move around, they can change the stem their front, stem their coverages, and disguise. But so I think he gets use that experience of his to be able to try to get you into a more advantageous play, and he's done a terrific job of that because it's important to him, because he wants to be in a position to win the game or to have success out there. And the trust factor, 100%. I believe in what he's doing, and understand that he's put the time and effort into to handle those type things. So when you have that part of it, you go with it.
We're going to stay on the right, third row back.
Yeah, Bryan, kind of a random question, but I was over in the coach's offices the other day. I walked by your office and noticed you had a thing on the wall that John Wooden quote. That
Yes.
The choice you make makes you. Where did you get that from? And did someone give that to you? And what was the reason for displaying it so prominently in your office?
I think there's, believe it or not, I do like to read. I don't just. I did teach school at one time. Reading has been one of those things in between the few minutes between practice and recruiting and those type things. But it's just something that struck me for whatever reason. Reading one summer or whatever it was, and I think in the end, I think you could put all these quotes up on the board. You could put a lot of things on the board that you stand for or stand against, or there's something that really hits you. And I think for all of us, whatever choices you make in life, ultimately they define who you are. And I think Coach Beamer says it. I've heard him use a version of that before, and I think it just resonated well with me, and I think it resonates well with our players. It's something they have to understand, because the choices that they make, whatever it is, on the field, off the field, how they apply themselves into school, how they conduct themselves outside the arena, I think in the end, they make you. Those choices make who you are. And I think we all need to understand that, because sometimes we live from moment to moment and play to play, but there's decisions that you make in life that ultimately define who you are. And I think when I like when our players come in and sit down and have a chance to visit, I think when they look past me and see it on the wall, it's a reminder to me, but I think it also is a reminder to them, a constant reminder to them. But this is not split-second decisions to help define who you are. And that's just something that's resonated with me.
So did you have that made, or did you go buy it, or
Actually, I also in my spare time, I like to take things and try to create them and do different types of wall murals and things like that. No, I had it made. My wife don't let me pick up a hammer. And what is the hammer's the one that? Yeah. That's, my wife don't let me do a whole lot from that standpoint. But no, I had it made. It was something that meant a great deal to me. There's certain things that stick out, and that's one that's really resonated well within me. And I think it's a good reminder for all of us, including you, Daryl.
Few seats down to the right.
Tyrod, back-to-back bowl wins for the first time in school history, and obviously we were talking about your legacy and what you've done at this program. What would it mean to get a third bowl win in a row, do you think, for Virginia Tech football for yourself?
It would mean a lot. I think just the season, the way that we started off the season was awful. Sorry to say it like that. Just didn't go as planned. And I think to finish off the season with a win this year, as far as the senior goes, and as far as I go, and the team, it would be great.
Rebecca, if we can bring it to the second row here.
Bryan, Frank was talking yesterday about sort of the struggles this program has had at times of beating top 5 teams in spotlight games, really playing to their potential. What do you think a win over a top 5 team like Stanford would do for the program's reputation? I guess reputation is a bad word because I mean you have a great reputation, but what do you think a win over a top 5 team would do?
I think anytime you have an opportunity to step on the field against a top 5 team and have an opportunity to win the game, I think is very, very important. And to say very, very important is kind of like awful. You know, is there a better word out there? We're searching for it, but you understand what it means. But I think a lot of people get caught up on what our record is against top 5 and those type things. And you know, it depends on what do you want to look at. I kind of look at 18 straight bowl games and how many teams have gone to that. I kind of look at how many teams have won 10 or more games over the last 6 or 7 years, and I look at those things. But then there's going to be those things that you look at that are not so good, and that's where we kind of focus our attention on. And right now, the focus and attention has been on the fact that when we've gone against top 5 teams, we haven't our record is not very good. But I think when you look at that, we're in a position to win those games. It's not like we've gone into those games and not stood face to face and not had opportunities to win them. And the fact that we haven't is something that is the albatross right now in terms of trying to shake it off a little bit. But we need to go out there and win this one. We need to go out there and win this because it's a great bowl and it's a great matchup. It's a great competition. But that record, that's something that we obviously people want to focus on and concentrate on. But we understand where we are in terms of our program. That record is just something that's part of it that we got to try to go out and try to help improve it here in a couple days. It'll be difficult. Yes.
Front row, Steve.
Tyrod, I assume you're not going to be playing any defensive back Monday night, so you don't have to worry directly about Andrew Luck, but there obviously will be comparisons between the two of you leading up to the game and even your performance on game night. What's your impression of him, and how excited are you about that matchup indirectly?